Good morning, children. We are once again back in the same chapter, that is solid state. In today's topic, we are going to discuss about crystal lattice. Now, the question is, what is a crystal? Any solid that has a fixed 3D shape is called a crystal, right? And what about a crystal lattice? A crystal lattice is a regular ordered arrangement of constituent particles in three dimension. It is a regular ordered arrangement of constituent particles in a three dimension is called as a crystal lattice. It is actually a regular ordered arrangement is called as a crystal lattice. As you could see in this adjoining diagram, what we could see that here actually we have a pink portion. That pink portion shows a unit cell, and these unit cells arrange one after the other and we get a regular crystal lattice. Now this lattice points or lattice sites are there. Now what is called lattice points or that of lattice sites? What are called lattice points or lattice sites? The fixed position in which the constituent particles are present, these are called as the lattice points. So these are the fixed points. These are actually the fixed point, that is the fixed position on which the constituent particles are present, are called as lattice points, or they are called as lattice sites. They are called as lattice points or they are called as lattice sites. Or I can say that these are called as lattice points or they are called as lattice sites. So a group of lattice points which when repeated over and over again in three dimension gives the complete crystal lattice. A group of lattice points which when repeated over and over. So there are a group of lattice points which are repeated over and over again in three dimension gives the complete crystal lattice. So what is a complete crystal lattice? That is these points, these lattice points, they arrange repeatedly one after the other. Again in three dimension we get the complete crystal. Now what is a unit cell? What is a unit cell? It is defined as the smallest repeating unit in space lattice. It is defined as the smallest repeating unit in space lattice which when repeated over and over again generates the complete crystal lattice. So it is defined as the smallest repeating unit. It is defined as the smallest repeating unit in space lattice which when repeated over and over again generates the complete crystal lattice. Which generates the complete crystal lattice. The crystal can consist of infinite number of unit cells. It consists of infinite number of unit cells. Okay children, now we are going to discuss about unit cell. What is unit cell? It is defined as the smallest repeating unit. It is defined as the smallest repeating unit in a space lattice which when repeated over and over again generates the complete crystal lattice. The crystal can consist of a infinite number of unit cells. Okay, a crystal consists of an infinite number of unit cells. Now parameters which characterize a unit cell. What are the parameters which characterize a unit cell? See, the parameters are dimensions of unit cell along three edges, that is along A, along B, along C, means along the length, along the breadth and along the height. These edges may or may not be mutually perpendicular. Okay. After that we are going to discuss the inclination of the edges of each other. This is denoted by the angle between the edges. As you could see, this is A, this is B and this is C. Okay, this is A, see, if I take it as lengthwise, breadthwise and heightwise, A, B and C, and these angles are alpha, beta and gamma. What is alpha, beta, gamma? These are the inclination of the edges to each other, and this is denoted by an angle between the edges. and respectively in the angle between the edges is A, B and C, and this is the angle between the edges. Okay, this is how the angles are there, that alpha angle, beta angle and gamma angle. Now parameters which characterize a unit cell. Okay, these are the parameters which characterize a unit cell. Now we are going to discuss about the 7 crystal system. Now we are going to discuss about the 7 crystal system and the possible 7 crystal system. First one is cubic. In a cubic one, there are possible variations. They can be primitive, they can be body centered, they can be face centered. And here, as you could see, A equals to B equals to C, or alpha equals to beta equals to gamma equals to 90. Okay, and examples is NaCl, zinc blende, copper, potassium chloride and diamond. Example is sodium chloride, zinc blende, calcium, potassium chloride and diamond. These are the examples. After that we have tetragonal. In case of tetragonal, they are of two types, that is primitive and body centered. Tetragonal is of two types, that is primitive and body centered. Among the primitive and the body centered, we know that here A equals to B but not equal to C. A equals to B but not equal to C, but here alpha equals to beta equals to gamma equals to 90. Example is SnO2, titanium oxide TiO2 and calcium sulfate. Example is SnO2, titanium oxide and calcium sulfate. After that, next one we have is orthorhombic or rhombic. Under the orthorhombic, there are three types: primitive, body centered, face centered, end centered. Primitive, body centered, face centered and end centered. Primitive, body centered, face centered and end centered. Here A is not equal to B, not equal to C, but alpha equals to beta equals to gamma. Example is rhombic sulfur. Example is potassium nitrate and barium sulfate. So these type of crystals show this type of symmetry or this type of shapes. After that, next one we have is monoclinic. In case of monoclinic, what we see in case of monoclinic, what we see actually, they are of these different types. In case of monoclinic, as you could see, that they have the primitive and the end centered. Okay, where A is not equal to B, not equal to C, alpha equals to gamma, alpha equals to gamma. In case of monoclinic, what we have seen, that they are a primitive type and end centered, where all the sides, see, all the sides are not similar. All the sides are not similar. That is, here you could see that the sides are not actually similar. That is, A is not equal to B, not equal to C, alpha and gamma equal to 90, but beta is not equal to 90. Okay, beta is not equal to 90. Okay, after the next one we have hexagonal. Hexagonal consists of primitive one. In the hexagonal, what we know, that here we have A equal to B but B is not equal to C. A equal to B but B not equal to C. Here alpha equals to beta equals to gamma not equal to 90. Alpha equals to beta equals to gamma not equal to 90. After that we have calcium. One example is calcium, calcium carbonate, mercury sulfide, ICl, arsenic, antimony and bismuth. Arsenic, antimony and bismuth. These are the different types we encounter. They are of these different types. Okay, that is the hexagonal one. After that we are rhombohedral or which is also called as trigonal. It is only have the primitive type. In this case, what we see, that A equals to B equals to C and alpha equals to beta equals to gamma but not equal to 90. Alpha equals to beta equals to gamma not equal to 90. And examples we have seen over here is calcite, HGS and ICl. Last one we have is rhombohedral or trigonal. That is the primitive one. So these are actually the 7 crystal systems. So these are actually the 7 crystal system. That is, first one is cubic, that we discussed, then tetragonal, after that orthorhombic, then we have monoclinic, hexagonal, rhombohedral, and last one is triclinic. In case of triclinic, it has only one type, that is the primitive one. In that case, what we see that A equals to B is not equal to C, but alpha is not equal to beta, beta is not equal to gamma, is equal to 90. Okay, after that we will discuss types of unit cell. What are the different types of unit cells? They are actually primitive or simple unit cells and have constant particles only at the corner. The primitive is the simplest one, where the atoms are actually located at each of the corners. Then we have centered unit cell. In case of centered unit cell, what we see? In case of centered unit cell, now what we see? In which one or more of the constant particles are present at the positions in addition to that of the present or at the corners. In addition to that is present at the corners. That is the centered unit cell. After that, we have types of centered unit cell. What are different types of centered unit cell? They are face centered, body centered, and that of end. There are three types: face centered, body centered, and third one is end centered. In case of face centered, what we know that the unit cells are located. In case of face centered, which we know it consists of one constant particles present in the center of each face, in addition to those present at the corners. In addition to those that is present at the corner. So we have these three types, that is the face centered. In case of face centered, what we know that in case of face centered crystal, it consists of one constant particle present at the center of each face, in addition to those present at the 8 corners. So in total there are 8 and one in the middle. After that we have the body centered. It consists of constant particles is present at it as the center of the body, in addition to those present at the corners. After that, end centered unit cell, it consists of one constant particle present at the center of any two opposite faces, in addition to those present at the corners. In addition to those present at the corners, we have the end centered, body centered, and that of the face. We have the face centered, end centered, and that of body centered. Okay, we have face centered, end centered, as also that of body centered. After that, children, we are going to discuss the number of particles at different lattice positions. What are the different number of particles at the different lattice position? So see, as you could see from this diagram, that we have these three different types. Number of particles at the center is shared by 8 unit cells. See, we have one in the center, and at each of the ends we have one cell. So here we have open structure, here we have the paste filling structure, here we have the actual portion of the system. Actual portion of the crystal looks like this. So this is the figure representing a primitive unit cell. Then we have number of particles present in a tetrahedral void. Here, as you could see, an atom is shared between 2 units of the face center. This is the open structure, this is the space filling structure, this is the actual position of an atom. After that, we are going to discuss what is called the packing efficiency. Packing efficiency is the percentage of total space occupied by constant particles. It is the percentage of the total space that is occupied by. It is the percentage of the total space that is occupied, and that is called as the packing efficiency. So packing efficiency for a face centered unit is 74%. Packing efficiency for a body centered 68%. Packing efficiency for a simple cubic cell is 52.4%. Okay. After that, we have the radius ratio in an octahedral void. For an atom to occupy an octahedral void, its radius must be 0.414 times the radius of the sphere. 0.414 times the radius of that of the sphere. Okay, so packing efficiency for a simple cubic cell is 52%, packing efficiency for a body centered 68%, packing efficiency for a face centered is 70%. So just remember the best packing efficiency is for face centered. After that, next one we have is body centered, and the least packing efficiency is in case of simple unit cell, which is 52.4%. Now the next thing we are going to discuss is the radius ratio in octahedral void. For an atom to occupy an octahedral void, its radius must be 0.414 times the radius of the sphere. 0.414 times the radius of the sphere. Now the radius ratio for tetrahedral void we calculate like this: for an atom to occupy tetrahedral void, its the radius must be 0.225 times the radius of the sphere. See this value, the value is 0.22 times the radius of the sphere. Now density of unit cell is same as the density of the substance. Density of unit cell is same as the density of the substance. Now next part we have relationship between the radius of constant particles and the edges of the length. In this case, now what we know, that a simple unit cell A equals to 2R, and face centered A equals to R, body centered equals to volume of the unit cell, that is edge length thrice the edge length. This is how the calculation is done. Okay children, after that we are going to discuss about the radius ratio. Now the question comes, what is the radius ratio? Radius ratio for ionic solid is actually the ratio of the radius of the cation by the radius of the anion. So it is actually given by the formula, that is R plus by R minus, where R plus is the radius of the cation, R minus is the radius of the anion. So we can know that radius ratio for ionic solid is the ratio of the radius of the cation to that of the ratio of the anion is called as the radius ratio. Okay. After that, next thing we have is the density of a unit cell. Density of unit cell is the same as the density of the substance. And then we have the next part, that is the relationship between the radius of constant particles and the edge length. So this is how these calculations are being done. After that, we have next thing is crystal defects. Now what are crystal defects? Now crystal defects are the defects that are because of the basic irregularities. Crystal defects are basically because of the irregularities in the arrangement of the constant particles. Crystal defects arises because of the irregularities in the arrangement of the constant particles. Now broadly, the crystal defects are of two types, that is they might be point defect or that of interstitial defect. Now the question is, what are point defects? Point defects are those defects what we see, they are because of the location of the constant particles of a crystal in a place apart from its normal location. So just remember that whenever there is a crystal defect, these defects are basically because of the irregularities in the arrangement of the constant particles, and broadly they are of two types, point defect and crystal defect. So always remember, if the location of an atom is not in its regular place, it actually causes various voids or spaces or gaps. These voids or spaces or gaps are called as the crystal defect. Because of crystal defect, what happens? The crystal shows certain irregular arrangement or arrangement which is apart from the normal arrangement, and these are called as crystal defects. Okay. These are called as crystal defects. Now, because of the presence of these crystal defects, what happens? Crystal shows various different properties. Some of the properties that these causes are, they actually causes change in some of their behavior in the electrical conductivity. Some of them behave as conductors, some of them behave as semiconductors, some of them behave as insulators. Because the presence of these property, we see a certain change. At times the defect is purposely done by the process of doping. Because of doping, what happens, the crystal actually shows difference in its properties. Okay children, that was all for the day. Thank you.